Hello and welcome to the Daily Millwall for Sunday the 13th of August 2023. In today's Millwall news, we start off with this from the South London Press, londonnewsonline.co.uk. Four takeaways from Millwall's 1-0 defeat to Bristol City. Denor, the pick of summer signings, but no complaints about the late loss. I'm hearing a lot of complaints actually. Millwall fell to a late 1-0 defeat against Bristol City at the Den on Saturday. Here are Daniel Marsh's takeaways from then. The Lions get what they deserve. Bristol City struck right at the death to bag all 3 points, but Millwall could have few complaints. The Lions weren't at the races all day and failed to make the most of an opportunity to start the new season with consecutive wins. Bar a 15-minute spell towards the end of the game where things became stretched, goal-mouth action was scarce for both sides. It was Bristol City, though, who were in control, looked more likely to break the deadlock, even though they were restricted to just a handful of chances by the Lions' defence. Matty James's last scarf strike was a real kick in the teeth, but Bristol City were the better team and good value for their win. Let's have a look at that picture there. That was. So I watched the highlights back, and that was a funny moment. As the new goalkeeper, what he did, he saw Jake Cooper in front of him, saw that he was a big lad and couldn't see anything past him. He just pushed him to the ground. So get out of the way, big man. He just pushed him to the ground. That's one way to endear yourself to your new teammates, is put hands on them. I'm surprised. Luckily it was on Jake Cooper, so the referee didn't penalise him for that. But if it would have been any other player, we've seen it in the past. As the Leeds team, was it Lee Bowyer and was it some other players, Kieran Dyer? You can get booked for assaulting your own players, but yeah, that was funny, sort of, to see in the highlights that the goalkeeper just shoving Jake Cooper out of the way because he can't see the ball. Cause for concern. It's still extremely early in the season, but it's been an absolutely rotten week for the Lions. Maybe the occasion got to a few on Saturday, but there's no excuse for not doing the basics. There were far too many misplaced passes, lapses in concentration, and poor decision making over the course of the afternoon, which can only be attributed to the players. The Lions are far too laboured and predictable on the ball, and building up back is fast becoming a real issue. It was painful at times, in a complete contrast to how effectively Millwall moved the ball against Middlesbrough last weekend. The formation has become a bit of a running debate about amongst the fan base. The Millwall have played brilliant football with back five and poorly with back four, and vice versa. Some of the issues that were highlighted by Saturday's performance transcend the Lions' shape. Denor, the pick of the bunch. On the whole, I've been really impressed with the signings Millwall have made. Denor was head and shoulders above everybody else in a shirt on Saturday. The Belgian midfielder didn't waste a pass and was constantly on the move in a bid to find space for the ball. Much like Zion Fleming last year, the South Londoners probably won't see the best of Denor until later in the season, as he continues to find his feet in the Championship, but the early signs are promising. Billy Mitchell and George Saville formed a highly effective midfield partnership last season, but Denor brings something different to the party with his range of passing. Berylson tributes. While it was an afternoon to forget on the pitch, it was a different story off it, as Millwall did John Berylson proud. The Lions paid tribute to their beloved former owner who passed away last month. The Millwall staff who were involved in such tributes, including the media team, Chief Executive Steve Kavanagh, who pulled plenty of strings behind the scenes, deserve tremendous credit. An emotional tribute video was met with rousing ovation, and the Berylson family, including Millwall's new chairman James Berylson, one of the loudest ovations heard in SC16, which is no mean feat. A pre-match walk around the den became a staple of Berylson's reign, so how fitting was it that his son started his own reign in the exact same way, hoping it was the first of many. The football, not good. Everything else was good stuff. Now, obviously being a Sunday, that's it for the news. That's all we've got. So we have to look at the stats, because otherwise the video will be 4 minutes long. So here we go. This is the new one for this season, fbref.com. We're on this. Here we go. So the XG, look in the middle between the club badges, 0.5 to Millwall, 0.9 to Bristol City. We had enough half chances in that game to score half of a goal, and Bristol City had just under one goal, and they scored one goal right at the end. Yeah, what can you say? So here's the formation. They were playing 4-3-3 and we were playing 5-3-2. More on that later. Here are the match events, bookings for them, changes for us, subs for them, subs for us, and the late goal at the end. Here are the possession stats: 45% to 55, 65% passing accuracy to 70% for them. Obviously, again, only 269. 412 passes for Millwall, 504 for Bristol City. Shots on target. So here's the thing. They had more chances than us, but they put them wide. Was that because we were blocking and restricting and positioning? Maybe. Yeah, maybe. We didn't give them clear-cut chances. But they had one shot on target and they scored it. They had 14 shots overall, but we had 10, and 2 of ours were on target. And their goalkeeper made 2 saves. Our goalkeeper didn't have a save to make. He did not make a save because all the shots went wide. Here's all the numbers, and I'm going to go through them because this is a bit confusing. These numbers not laid out clearly. We're going to move on to the whoscored.com in a minute to see the actual numbers. Here you can see. So expected goals by player. Kevin Nisbet 0.1. Duncan Watmore 0.1. George Saville 0.1. Danny McNamara 0.1. And Murray Wallace 0.1. And that all adds up to 0.5. So there you go. Score. So what was this? Shot creating action. So basically, attack. Who was the ones that were setting up the shots? And it was Joe Bryan with 3. Watmore with 2. Diane Fleming with 2. Then a whole host of other players with 1. Here you've got the passes, completion and attempts. You've got the dribbling, the carries. Oh no, this is just moving the ball around. And here is dribbling, taking on a player with dribbling the ball. To take on defenders while dribbling. Oh, just defenders while dribbling. So attempts and successes. So Zion Fleming, 6 attempts, 3 successful. Kevin Nisbet, 3 and 2. So you can see there, this website does give you a little bit more information. And like I said last time, even the ages, they give the age in years and then days. So Martija Sarkic is 26 years old and 20 days, which is, what can you say? So here's the goalkeeper stats. So another thing from this website that we get is actual dedicated goalkeeper stats, which is good. So shots on target against 1, goals against 1. That's not good. Post shot expected goals, and you can see the explanation there, and that's 0.3. So from the shot that guy had was a 0.3. So it wasn't like, if it was a penalty, it'd be like 0.9, like 50-50 expected to go in. So here's his kicking, launched, long balls basically. 16, but only 2 found a Millwall player. So that's not good because obviously we don't have anyone tall up front. Actual passes though, 16 passes, 1 throw. 62 of them were launched percentage wise. Passes longer than 40 yards, and the average length kicks or passes, including the throws, 51 meters, I see. Oh, yards, 51 yards. Goal kicks, attempts 6, and they were all launched, and they all went about 68 yards. Crosses, so opposition crosses. The amount of times that Bristol City crossed the ball into the penalty area, 21. The number of times that the goalkeeper stopped them, 0. So it was all the other players, because obviously we've got 5 defenders and then midfielders coming back. So 21. Sweeper, keeper. Defensive actions outside of penalty area. How many times did he come outside of his area? Twice. The average distance that he spent from his goal line, 20 yards, 21 yards basically. So there you go. That's very detailed stuff there. Like I said, if you want to check this out yourself, it's fbref.com. Now moving on to whoscored.com. Here we go, a bit more clearer, a bit more easy to read. Millwall's strengths, none. Weaknesses will poor at finishing and favour long shots. And Bristol City style played with width. So you can see on the right hand side, I don't, it's probably just me, or I don't know. When you have players like Kevin Nisbet, Duncan Watmore, Zion Fleming on the pitch, and the player who has the most shots for you is Danny McNamara, then something is seriously wrong, in my opinion. Maybe fairly if Jake Cooper had the most shots, that might be a thing as well. That might be fair enough because he would be getting his head on crosses and corners and stuff. But Danny McNamara is your player who's had the most shots. Yeah, what can you say about that? So let's go back onto the left hand side in the middle. Attempts, as we know, 10 to Millwall, 14 for them. 5 to 10 open play, 5 to 4 set piece. So that gives them a conversion rate of 7%. They were mostly going down the wings, and we were mostly going down the wings, but the right hand side more. Shot directions, shot zones, action zones, game played in the middle of the park basically. Player position. So here we go. So looking at this, it looks like it's a 3-4-1-2. And looking at Bristol City's, it looks like they were playing 4-2-3-1, which is the formation that we were playing sort of at the end of the last season, and we had a lot of goal action up the other end. We had more shots than the opposition most games. Sometimes that didn't work with the whole game. We had 20 shots and we didn't score, but we have a new striker now. But yeah, so it looks like there you've got Fleming playing up front, striker, with Nisbet, and you've got Watmore behind him. Okay. Now moving on to what happened in this game. Here are the match events. We've already seen on the other website. So here we go. Record crowd for a league game 18,005. If you look at the club badge at the top left, top right, you see the average player rating for Millwall 6.45. The average player rating for Bristol City was 6.75. Not much difference in there. One thing that stands out is obviously the highest rated players for Bristol City are their defence. Basically, the whole back line had 7.5s, roundabout there or thereabouts. And it's actually their strikers that got the lowest rating because obviously they're having shots for fun and they're just kicking it wide. They only had one shot on target, which is why our goalkeeper, the new goalkeeper's got the lowest rating, 5.8. Basically, he had only a one shot on target, went in. But I don't really know, you can blame him for that. But so here we go. So James, obviously 7.7, man of the match, getting that goal. A pretty dire match. For Mill, the highest rated player was, they've given it to Murray Wallace and Danny McNamara. Because obviously, if McNamara's having 3 shots on target, or I don't know if they were on target, he's had 3 shots and must have been a Mill player. I think that bumps your score up. And he wasn't even pitched for the whole game. So let's run through this. Total shots 10 to 14. Who had those shots? And here we go. So you can see all of Bristol City's front line had most of the shots and did nothing. They had to rely on the guy at the end. For Millwall, it was McNamara and Nisbet. Fleming didn't have a shot, which is kind of weird because if you're playing him up front, what's that about? Possession-wise, 44 to 55. And it was actually right, so you can see Murray Wallace on the ball the most, and then Joe Bryan and McNamara, because obviously we're going down both wings. That was it. Possession success percentage, or pass success percentage, 65 to 72. And the goalkeeper's 29, obviously pumping long balls long. To little people up front. What we've got, Billy Mitchell 79. Yeah, passing accuracy, high for Billy Mitchell. Fleming 59, interesting. I'll have to see what that's about. Maybe he was marked out of the game, I don't know. Dribbles 10 to 9. So here's the players dribbling ball. Aerials 1, 24 to 18. So you can see Bristol City's front line. Another reason why they probably didn't get good scores is they didn't win an aerial. The front three for Bristol. Okay. Tackles 13 to 16. Tanner, so obviously going down that left side, he's getting 6 tackles in. James is getting 2 in. Denor with 4. So the tackling in the middle of the park more than the defence. Corners. Here are the players who got the corners. Not the players who took the corners, the ones who won a corner. So their goalkeeper won a corner. Dispossessed 4 to 8. So there you go. Now moving on to similar but different. This is also from whoscored.com. So player ratings. So Danny McNamara 7.12, Murray Wallace 7.09, Casper Denor 7.04. So 3 players at 7 and above, and Casper Denor only played 79 minutes. Danny played most of it, went off extra time. Now, what about worst? So yeah, that goalkeeper, 1 shot on target, 1 goal, gives him a score of 5.82. And then you've got the subs, which is obvious because they didn't have that much time on the pitch, but weird to see Romain Esse lower than Ryan Leonard with 5.86 to 5.9. Duncan Watmore, 61 minutes on the pitch, 6.16, and he's rated, and he's replacement Tom Bradshaw, rated similar, just below him, even though he had 30 minutes on the pitch compared to Duncan Watmore 60. So obviously Duncan Watmore well up for last, absolutely amazing in the last game at Middlesbrough. Well up for that game, obviously, because he's playing against his former club. And it's like Garrett was like, well, that's the new standard. He can do it. No, maybe he had extra motivation to do it for them for that game. Maybe that's not there now in this game. Yeah. So let's look at the shots and shots on target. We had 10 shots. How many were on target? Not a lot by the looks of it. So McNamara 3 and 0, Nisbet 2 and 0. How many shots were actually on target? 2. So 10. 10 and then 2 and 0 goals. That's if you're having 10 shots, you need to get about 5 of them on target to get 1 goal. It's just some kind of law of Pareto distribution or something. It's how it is. Like, this isn't good enough. It's not good. The most touches for Millwall, Murray Wallace by far, 89 touches. Then Joe Bryan, then Danny McNamara, then Sean Hutchinson, and it kind of drops off. We get to Billy Mitchell with 40, and then it drops off after that. Okay, let's look at what are we looking at? I don't know. Offense. Unscheduled touches, basically poor ball control. Well, if Murray Wallace and Danny McNamara and Joe Bryan on the ball the most, they're obviously going to have some unscheduled touches. Percentage wise, that's probably not that bad. Then you've got Duncan Watmore on the pitch for 61 minutes. He's had 3. Obviously, he's attacking. He's got to try and create things. You can't break an omelette without making some eggs. No, you can't make an omelette with breaking eggs. Switch that, reverse it, yeah. Defensive wise, so who did the hard work? So here we go. Casper Denor 4, Bryan 3, Fleming 2. In terms of tackles, interceptions, McNamara 3, then Billy Mitchell, Sean Hutchinson, Murray Wallace. Clearances. Whoa, here we go. This is why Murray Wallace had a good score. 7 clearances. Hutchinson 4. So all of these are basically, this is what's keeping the score down. Because it could have been a lot worse. Because Bristol City seemed to be very energetic and direct, and we were just lethargic. So the goalkeeper with 3 clearances. Blocked shots. So here are, so Bristol City had, what was it, 14 shots. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them were blocked. 1 was on target, and that must have been like another 8 or so were just off target. So there you go. Passing wise, the most passes for Millwall, Murray Wallace by far. So Murray Wallace seems to be the ball playing centre half of the 3, which I guess he probably is. Or maybe they've switched it now. He used to be Sean Hutchinson. Maybe they switched it to Murray Wallace because you got Joe Bryan. He's the threat now. I guess he's the one who can pick a ball out. So they're going down that side of him. In terms of accuracy, obviously Billy Mitchell, but that was only off of 29 passes. So Joe Bryan 68 off of 38. Murray Wallace is 70% off 67. That's not bad. Sean Hutchinson, so obviously he's probably pumping it long. 57 off 42. It's not the best. Crosses and accurate crosses. So Danny McNamara, 3 shots and on target, 4 crosses, none accurate. But he ends up with a 7.12 score. Probably for his defensive stuff, I guess. Okay, so we only had 6, 7, 8 crosses because obviously there's no one to cross into. We're trying to play it through the middle. That's not really working, and there's no plan B. You can't not bringing on tall man to play up front to ping balls to. Long balls and accurate long balls. So here we go. The goalkeeper. He's 21 passes, 19 long, 28.6 accuracy. Only 4 accurate long balls. Murray Wallace again, 14 and 6. Jay Cooper. So plenty of long balls being played here. Plenty of long balls. Murray Wallace with 14. Jay Cooper with 14. John Hutchinson with 14. Just pinging long balls forward to the Bristol City goalkeeper and their defence. Because none of them, half of them were accurate. So what's that? Let's add that up. What's that? 28, 30, 40. 40 long balls from the 3 centre half. 40 long balls and 15 are accurate. Who are you pumping it long to? There's no one up there. There's no big man up front. Who are you pumping it long to? Here we go. Casper De Noor. 8 and 6. So he can pick a pass out. Joe Bryan 7 and 3. McNamara 5 and 3. Plenty of long balls happening there, but so yeah, weird game. Which I'm still don't understand what we're gaining from this formation. I guess it's just to keep the opposition's XG down, but we were lucky in terms of Bristol City just shooting wide. They had plenty of chances, they just weren't on target. If they were, we were going to go bad, which is where we're leading to probably next Sunday. Norwich City away, a game we never do well in. And are we going to play the same way? Try and keep them at harm's bay and then nick the game 1-0 like Bristol City have done to us? I think that's the only way we're gonna play. We're not gonna go guns blazing, hammer and hammer, which is possible because you see Norwich City's last result was a 4-4 draw at Southampton, 8-goal game. Here's the thing: if we lost 4-3 at Norwich City and we absolutely went for it and like turned it on, I think people wouldn't mind that. They wouldn't be bothered with that. Like, wow, we saw an entertaining game of football which we just narrowly lost. But when you're playing this defensive style just to frustrate the opposition, not only are you frustrating the opposition, you're frustrating the fans. A record league crowd amount of fans. You're frustrating them as well. So we'll see. We'll see what happens in the next game. Obviously, we've had one home game, one away game. So it looks like maybe the style works better in away games. But then, is it feasible that we could switch different formation, an away formation and a home formation? Can the players handle that? Can they cope with that? I don't know. It might be a bit jarring, but you would imagine if they're playing at home, they know, oh, this is a home game, this is how we play at home. Then when they go away, it's totally different. They obviously have to travel there. It takes a long time. And they can get around their heads like, okay, this is how we're going to play when we get there. It should be something they could do. I don't see why not, but yeah, that was a shit game of football. That was heading for a 0-0 until some crazy bit of kung fu shooting sent the ball into the net. Oh well, and on that note, thank you for watching and goodbye.